Hey YouTube, it's your girl Deneezy, and I am back with the final episode of Joseline's Cabaret Season 4, and it's such a bittersweet ending. Now, the girls have to leave the house, and half of them are sad because they've made some good friends, they're gonna miss their time here at the house, and they had a general positive experience. And then the other half of girls are really happy to finally be going home. They're tired of the drama, they're tired of each other, and they're just ready to go home and see their family. And so Andrea's gonna say that they filmed for a month, which I definitely don't feel like we got a month worth of content. And I went back and I watched some of the previews and I found two scenes that were missing from the show and that I feel like we should have gotten in order for the story to be a little bit better. So in the first scene, we have Egypt, Wet Wet, and T-Love talking outside. And this was filmed during the morning of the Dunchacha water kick showdown. And what happens is that Wet Wet and T-Love start arguing. T-Love just keeps picking on Wet Wet. So this is why Wet Wet ended up popping off on T-Love like she did. And without this scene, it just makes it seem like Wet Wet just went off out of the blue for no reason. And then Egypt being a witness to this, we now know why she said that T-Love has been picking on Wet Wet all day. And without the scene, it just makes Egypt seem like she was being fake and two-faced. But no, not really. She actually witnessed what had happened prior to the whole brawl. The second scene that I think should have been shown as well is when Joseline and Lucky sat down to talk out their issues. So this happened right after Joseline kicked Lucky out of rehearsals. And in this clip, we get Joseline being more harsh and dismissive towards Lucky, whereas in the version that we saw in the episode, this conversation went a lot smoother. Joseline came across more forgiving towards Lucky. And I feel like had we got to see this scene, we would understand why Lucky just kept fighting to still be on the cabaret. And, I'm a Lucky fan, so I was really happy that she came back. I wanted to see her dance more, but of course, because of the unforeseen circumstances that would end up happening later, Lucky couldn't stay in the house. So I really don't blame her for leaving. I just wish that we would have gotten to see more of her dancing and her personality. And I think overall, the drama and the storyline was enough to keep the show going. I just think that the editing and the production was just poorly executed, and also how uninvolved Joseline was this season. But I like the addition of Ricardo. I think he made a good choreographer, and he had more personality than some of the girls that were in the cast. So I hope he comes back for next season, if there's even going to be a next season. I'm not really going to get into that right now. So back to the show we go. The girls are on the Sprinter bus on their way to Starlet's for one last rehearsal. And we've come a really long way because if you remember the first time that the girls all got on the bus together, they were all ganging up on Andrea, and Andrea just kept running her mouth and being problematic. So to fast forward to now and seeing Andrea say that she's going to miss everybody and that she had a good time getting to know everyone and that she had a lot of fun is a huge 180. The girls are all kumbaya allegedly at this point by the time that they arrive at rehearsals, in which rehearsals goes well, and Danny is back on the pole, which I'm really happy about, even though her leg is still broken. But pole work is more of arm strength and thigh strength, so she's gonna be just fine. Then we cut to the next day. The girls are on the bus again back to Starlet's for their final performance. And depending on how they perform today, will determine whether or not Joseline will choose them to continue on tour with her. So there's a lot of pressure on these girls. They get ready, they get dressed, and then they have some time to chit chat right before they go on stage with Joseline. And Joseline is gonna ask Natural in Egypt about their relationship. And she calls it fake, in which she's not wrong because fast forward to today, Egypt and Natural are not really together like that anymore. Egypt said in her live that her and Natural are not a couple in the traditional sense, but Miss Natural is somehow going to always be involved in her life. But here in this scene, they're kissing, and I just love how Daisy took it upon herself to interrupt this moment to ask Joseline if they were going to get paid for today. Daisy is asking the real question here, but I think that Joseline thought that Daisy was trying to be messy because longtime viewers of this show, you guys know it took a while for Chanel to get her money, and it is still unclear whether or not the girls got paid even for their first Starlet's performance. So Joseline gets a little upset and petty and she says that she's going to follow everyone else, but Daisy is going to remain blocked forever. And then fast forwarding to today, Daisy has dropped her diss track against Joseline using her own beat. And I just think that Joseline is really good at knowing when people are being fake and phony. She got it right with Egypt and Natural, and now she's getting it right with Daisy. So I don't think Joseline gets enough credit for being able to tell when people are being disingenuous. So now it's finally time for the last performance, and the girls absolutely did great. Personally, my favorite part was Spin and Precious's set together with the fire. I think that was a really cool concept, and they kind of gave me an idea as to if I were Joseline, what I would do with the Cabaret girls. So playing off of the fire concept between Spin and Precious, I would make each of the Cabaret girls do the four elements. So fire, water, earth, and air. So for the fire girls, I would have Spin and Precious. I like what they did here with Spin's red hair and Precious's red boots. So I would also color coordinate these girls with their respective element. Then I would have Miss Wet Wet and T Love be the water girls. I would have them wear some kind of blue, and then I would have Miss Wet Wet possibly spray some water all over T Love, because I like how for their set, Miss Wet Wet threw T Love onto the chair and Miss Wet Wet was the dominant one during their performance. I would also give them like water guns or water balloons so they could interact with the crowd and spray the crowd as well. Next, I would have the whole trick trio be the air girls and just have them on the pole doing their flips and their tricks. I really like how Yummy is able to do that ceiling trick where she puts her feet on the ceiling and pretends like she's standing up and walking. And then we all know that Danny and Andrea are also very skilled on the pole. Danny can spin on that pole for days and never come down to the floor. No hands and everything. Just look at her go. And Andrea can do the same. Then I would just have everybody else who can't really dance like that to be the Earth girls. They could just stay on the floor stage and just put on like a sexy performance or something, have them wear green, and then have the audience like throw money at them. Now, my only critique of the performance is for Joseline herself. I just wish that she would do more tricks on the pole. She really just grabs the pole and like walks around it and tries to be all sexy and stuff. And then sometimes she just like grabs the pole and just starts thrusting like really hard. I feel like she's gonna break something. She's so aggressive with it. But yeah, she doesn't really spin on the pole as much as she used to. But in the end, Joseline was really happy with her cabaret. And she says that this is something that she has been working towards for 15 years. So I really commend her for that. I think she found her group. She just needs to keep working on it, fine tweak the cabaret to be a little bit more interesting. And she could just really keep this going. I also want to say that I'm really proud of her. I'm really proud of the Cabaret girls as well. I was not expecting it to go this good. I promise you, I was not. So congratulations to everyone. Y'all did y'all big one. Now, with all that talk that Joseline did about bringing all the girls on the tour, that was a damn lie. We have the list of the girls who actually made it onto the tour. So it's Natural, Andrea, T-Love, Danny, Precious, Yummy, and Egypt. No Wet Wet, and no Spin, which I'm absolutely devastated about because Wet Wet is entertaining. Everybody knows Paris and London, and she has serious fans out here. And then Spin, she is the only girl that skates on stage, and she kills it every time. So I think it was a really big mistake to not include Spin into it. But if I had to guess, they're probably not on the cabaret because maybe Joseline felt like their looks aren't up to par. Joseline did tell Wet Wet to fix her teeth before she goes on the cabaret. And Danny doesn't have the best teeth either, but that's not really something that I care about. Like, that's not something that I'm going to get on them for or not want to see them perform. But that's just me, honestly. And in other news, the reunion is officially wrapped and in post-production right now as we speak. Now, there's a lot of spoilers online, and the girls have been going back and forth on social media talking about it and fighting with one another. And not to give too much away, but we are going to get some fights, even from the so-called NPC characters that I have been calling them this whole season. The fans have been asking, where are the fights? So now for the reunion, you guys are going to get it. And I think that this reunion is going to be a pretty good reunion. Of course, the girls got into more trouble over social media than the actual drama on the show, per usual. So I'm really excited to see the reunion. And Y'all know that Zeus Network has a pretty quick turnaround time, so I would probably give it like another 2 weeks or so before they drop the reunion. So hopefully they don't make us wait too long. And I am going to also cover the reunion, so I will see you for the reunion. Please subscribe so you can watch me when that comes out. I'm also going to be dropping Baddies East episode 4 either today or tomorrow. I am a little busy today, but I will try to get everything done as quickly as possible. So I will see you over there on that episode, and take care of yourselves and your family. Bye.